Hello and welcome to this abosi video. First things out, this is the definitive Dummynation multiplayer tutorial. I will be playing on my own because I want to explain stuff. So it's basically a multiplayer but in single player. Anyways, I'll be playing as Germany. Shout out to Lucky for making me do this tutorial because his old one was absolute garbage. So this isn't, the most pro player thing, but I'm top 30th on the world, so you gotta trust me a little bit. Cut me some slack. I got some information from Alo, Croatian mapper, Sonico, so it's good. I play like this, so you should too. First, we start with the ideologies. There are 5 ideologies in the game. Democracy, of course. You have Liberator, which is practically the best one. Military service isn't much, in my opinion. The more you never, ever make something 100%. This thing 100%. This thingy, never do it because look, 100% Liberator, 3.6% exchange rate, 96%. You get much more, but democracy, it's not a huge difference. When you start, like Germany starts with 30%, you go for 70%. Your political freedom will be very good, 34. And you still will have 30%. So 50, you'll lose democratic solidarity much faster than you gain the Liberator. So go like 50%, so your political freedom is much less, and you can invade countries as you want. And not really gain a lot of hate from it. Second thing, military service is just basically stronger rebels. It's really expensive and it takes a lot from the free exchange rate you get from democracy. It reduces this thingy. I forgot its name, but it basically makes you rely on other countries for good economy. Just make it 0, right? You can increase Liberator later. When you are 50%, go 70%, and 80% should be your stop point. Second thing, autocracy. In my opinion, paramilitary is garbage. Never use it because nobody uses it because corruption is really bad. If you are autocracy is only good for martial law. Martial law is, and by the way, never go 75% martial law, go 70% martial law. Or 50% martial law, which is really worth it. You don't lose much, like really small amounts of corruption. But 70% is good. Autocracy is a poor man's Liberator. Liberator takes a shit ton of time to get, like see Liberator how slow it goes? Like compared to autocracy, look at autocracy. It's much quicker. Like when you have to invade China or something, you need to switch from fascism, which is the meta right now, or from communism to autocracy to stop the extremely overpowered Chinese rebels or Russian rebels or American rebels. Doesn't matter which. Like see, it grows so quickly. When you're like 500 tiles deep in China, you should probably have 10% less rebels, which is pretty good. Even if China went democracy and got 100% military service, and military service is extremely slow to get. Third, communism. Communism used to be meta. Now it's really meh. You get the gold thing is like you lose 5% less economy. That's like baseline. You should go 40% call to arms if you really want to go communist. Like if you go 65, it's not really worth it. If you go 60%, basically is like have less stagnation for just 5% difference. But you should go for 40% to actually have a functioning economy. Planned economy is good if you're pushing like low budget like this. You shouldn't go communist at the current meta. It's not really worth, but it's still really good. And by the way, there is a hidden debuff in communism. Like if I go communist right now, let's go 40%. You can go 60% if you really need it. but it will make you afford less stuff, but you will pump out more troops. Communism is good on poor countries, like, you know, Malawi, Tanzania, African countries, Vietnam, Papua, maybe even Indonesia, because the discount won't like give you a lot of discount off. Like 40% off 50k troops is just like 75k troops. But if you can pump out the same amount of troops much faster, it's better. Basically, that's basically it. On richer countries, fascism is better. On poor countries, it's worse. Anyways, you get diplomacy reduction when you're communist. Like, look at New Zealand. It lost some, and every alliance and peace treaty will cost more over time. Like, you will lose allies, but not as bad as fascism. Theocracy. Theocracy is pretty good. It's really good now. A holy war. When your country is being invaded by, you know, a foreign invader, a holy war makes you get 100%. Don't put it on 100. Look how a small difference can make. Just put it at 98. 20% stronger armies versus invaders, and your lands get 100% more rebels. Holy war starts with 5% stronger armies and 10% more rebels, like instantly. You don't lose much research from dogmatism, but it's really good. Like, if you have a big country or even a small country like Germany, you can use the 20%. Basically a free guerrilla warfare. If you go guerrilla warfare, which I will get into the research section of the video, I will explain further. Traditionalism. Traditionalism is more of a meme, but it's strong. It's really good. Population growth is really good. You can go like 40% traditionalism. Traditionalism makes you grow population. Like, you can go 50% or 40%, 10%. You start with 10%. You go 20%, etc. It's more of a meme. You shouldn't really go traditionalism. If you're ecoing really hard, go traditionalism. You can. The more population you have, the less GDP per capita you get. This is the GDP per capita. It's 60k for Germany, like in 2031, which is not really exact, but close enough. Anyways, you will gain, like, your social spending will be much more worth it. Like, now I can increase it, it's 1%. But you have to remember, traditionalism is extremely slow. Like, look, like 0.2% in 3 months. It's really extremely slow. Like, you go traditionalism when you're pretty sure you're staying, you're gonna eco for most of the game. Now, for the most important one at the moment, Fascismo. Blitzkrieg is really good, but it's really expensive. If you go 40% exploitation, the discount, and for Blitzkrieg, it's absolutely horrible for your economy, diplomacy, life, everything. So don't go Blitzkrieg, please. Just go 40% or 35% discount on Blitzkrieg. I personally always use 40% or around 40%, but Alo recommends 35%, which is fair. Like, I can see how close, but you get like 5.5% more discount for 4% less exchange rate, which is basically a good deal in my opinion. Of course, you can disagree, you can tell me in the comments, I don't know, but personally, go 40% exploitation. Blitzkrieg is only good if you're like China and you just killed USA's army, and you really have to get there quickly before they make an army again. The game is basically over at this point, so just go Blitzkrieg to take as much land as possible and as fast as possible. Now, as I said, 40% exploitation gives you 40% cheaper troops. If I go fascist right now, yeah, it's really quick. Call to arms on communism is faster, but it's really good, and it's absolutely horrible for your relations. Like, see how quick. Look at Greenland. Like, see how quick I'm losing diplomacy, and I just went fascist. Alliance treaties are much more expensive. Peace treaties are much more expensive. Sometimes they're cheap because it's multiplayer, you have a lot of allies. So, now we finished ideologies.